In a group conversation, the person who draws the most attention is often not the smartest one, but many people still believe the opposite. Whoever speaks faster, more confidently, and more often must be more capable. Whoever keeps citing statistics, reacting instantly, and always has an answer must be the one who understands the deepest in the room. That sounds very reasonable, but real life usually does not work that way. If you look closely, the smartest person is often the quieter one. They do not fight to speak. They do not try to prove how much they know. They do not rush to fill every silence in the conversation. They sit more still. They listen longer. They observe more carefully. And while others are trying to appear sharp, they are doing something else, checking what is actually true. That is what makes real intelligence so easy to overlook. It does not always come with noise. It often reveals itself through very small habits. If you enjoy perspectives like this, subscribe to the channel and keep watching, because the deeper we go, the more you will recognize things that have always felt familiar, but that you may never have had words for. Quiet reactions. Brief pauses that most people never notice. And if you start recognizing these signs, you will begin to see intelligence in places you once passed right by. The first sign is that they often ask questions that sound very simple. In a meeting, there are moments when everyone is talking intensely. Plans, strategies, options, charts, predictions. The conversation becomes more and more complicated. The more people talk, the smarter it seems. Then one person softly asks, "Wait, why are we so sure this will work?" That question is not flashy, not technical, not difficult to understand. But sometimes it is the only question that really matters. Because many conversations do not fall apart from a lack of ideas. They fall apart because the whole group moves too fast on an assumption that was never actually tested. Intelligent people often spot that exact point. They do not get swept away by the feeling that everything is going great. They pause exactly where others only want to keep rushing forward. That is why their questions are often very basic. What does this actually mean? What problem are we trying to solve? What makes us believe this is true? Those simple-sounding questions are often the ones that strip the issue down to what is real. The second sign is that they are very comfortable saying they do not know yet. Most people think smart people should always have an answer. Ask them something and they respond immediately. The faster, the better. The more certain, the more trustworthy. But people who truly understand deeply often do not speak that way. They pause. They think carefully. They say things like, "I'm not sure yet," or "I don't know enough yet to conclude." That may not sound impressive, but it is actually a very strong sign of intelligence. When someone understands a topic only superficially, everything looks simple. Right or wrong, yes or no, should or should not. But the deeper someone understands, the more they begin to see conditions, exceptions, circumstances, limitations, and variables. And once you see that complexity, it becomes much harder to sound completely certain too easily. So the person who says "I don't know" is not always the one who knows less. Very often they are the one who sees more than everyone else. If you have ever thought that way too, comment number 1. The third sign is that they often pause for a few seconds before answering. Not the kind of pause that comes from not understanding. It is the kind where they go quiet for a moment, as if several paths just opened in their mind at once. From the outside, that pause may look like insecurity, but inside their brain is moving very fast. If I say this, how will the other person take it? What assumptions are already built into this question? If I answer in the shortest way possible, will I leave out something important? If this idea is wrong, what are the consequences? That is why some people seem slow to respond, when in fact they are processing more layers. They are not just reacting to the surface of the question. They are imagining the possibilities behind it. And when your mind naturally sees many outcomes at once, it takes a few extra seconds to say something truly accurate. But those few seconds are often exactly what make the difference. The fourth sign is that they observe more than they speak. In many groups, quiet people are often underestimated. People assume they lack opinions, lack confidence, or are not fast enough to keep up. But there is a very different kind of silence, silence used for observation. Intelligent people often notice things others ignore. They notice who keeps interrupting, who changes tone when challenged, who is speaking to protect themselves rather than to find the truth, who changes their view just because the group changes direction. They do not just hear the content. They read the structure underneath the conversation. That is why they often do not need to speak too early. They are gathering data. They want to understand the whole board before making their first move. And while others are busy making an impression, they are seeing how things actually work. If you have ever been misunderstood as slow, quiet, or not quick to react just because you needed a few extra seconds to think more deeply, comment number 8 below. I want to know how many people have been judged unfairly just because their mind does not work in a loud way. The 5th sign is that they notice contradictions very quickly. There are statements that most people hear and simply nod at. But for an analytical mind, something almost immediately lights up inside something does not fully fit. For example, someone says, "Working hard is enough to succeed." Many people hear that and think it sounds fine. But someone who sees more deeply will automatically keep thinking then, what about people who work incredibly hard and still fail? What about timing, opportunity, luck systems, starting circumstances? They are not looking for contradictions just to argue. They simply cannot help seeing them. It is the kind of mind that constantly compares new information with what it already knows. Because of that, statements that sound smooth and convincing to most people can create a slight friction inside them, something like a quiet alarm. This part needs another look. The 6th sign is that they are willing to change their mind when new data appears. Society often praises people for being consistent, but sometimes what is even more valuable is the ability to revise a conclusion when you realize you did not have enough information. Intelligent people do not treat their opinions as an identity they must defend at all costs. They treat them like a temporary working hypothesis. If new evidence appears, they update. If they find a flaw, they correct it. If they realize they misunderstood something, they change. This can easily be mistaken for inconsistency, but it is actually a very high form of honesty. They are not trying to stay right just to protect their image. They want to become more right so they can get closer to the truth. And the sentence, "maybe I was wrong before," does not make them weaker. It shows they are strong enough not to cling to their ego. The 7th sign is that they are not easily pulled along by the crowd. There are moments when an entire group seems to agree very quickly on one opinion. A meeting, a debate, a group of friends. One idea slowly becomes the group's shared view. People start nodding along. The atmosphere in the room begins to make disagreement feel uncomfortable. That is exactly when in the mind of someone with independent thinking a very small question appears. Am I agreeing because this is true or because everyone else has already agreed? That one question alone creates distance in thought. Intelligent people do not always enjoy arguing. Many of them actually dislike conflict, but they find it hard to trust an idea just because it is popular. They still need evidence. They still need logic. They still need to check for themselves. And sometimes, after checking, they still arrive at the same conclusion as the crowd. But sometimes they do not. And at that point, they are easily seen as stubborn, skeptical, or difficult, when in reality, they are simply putting truth above agreement. If you look closely, you will notice that all 7 of these signs have one thing in common. Intelligent people are not necessarily the most talkative, the most confident, or the most impressive. Very often, they are the ones who question what seems too obvious to question. The ones who are willing to say they do not know yet. The ones who stay quiet a few seconds longer than usual. The ones who observe more than they compete for speaking time. The ones who notice contradictions the whole room missed. The ones willing to correct themselves. And the ones who do not rush to believe something just because the crowd believes it. Real intelligence is often quieter than we think. It does not always walk into a room making noise. Sometimes it sits very still in a corner, listens very carefully, asks exactly the right question, and only speaks when it truly sees clearly what it is saying. And sometimes one of the reasons we overlook very intelligent people is that we are still using a definition of intelligence that is far too loud. If you have ever met someone like that, or if you recognize these signs in yourself but often feel underestimated just because you are not the flashy type, comment number 9 below. I would really like to read which point you relate to the most. Thank you for watching until the end of the video. If this content touched something you have noticed before but never had the words to describe, please like and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. See you in the next video.